Hello, good evening, hi. Oh, you guys, I'm late today. I'm really late. Really late. It's been a day. I'm struggling today. Today's not a good day. I don't know why. I feel very anxious. Very meh. It's been a long day. We've been and fetched a bunch of stuff from Costco this morning for our next door neighbour's birthday party. Built a bunch of balloon arches and things for them. And I feel like I've got nothing done, which never makes me feel good. But you know, it is what it is. So instead, should we just do some more Ace Attorney? I think that's what we should do. Let's make everything better with a game. Okay, so I think we left off yesterday with the trial. Yeah, part 2. Okay, so let's just crack on with the trial. Oh, and we fetched Detective Atme, didn't we, from his own nonsense. Okay. My sis. I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart. Nicky boy. Oh, Ms. Delight. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. And he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's got to happen sooner rather than later. Okay, what is our proof going to be? Okay. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand. Okay. Well, how do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Master Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mask. Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Master Mask? Of course. Very well then, Luke Atme. Let us please begin with this simple question. On October the 12th at 1 AM, Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry. I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Oh, his magical coffee's back. All right, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. Okay, the alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask. just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atney, we still have to do your cross-examination. The fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. I mean, yeah, potentially. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Okay, stop. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point? That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist? That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. Okay. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defence, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the Master Mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Okay. Okay, let's ask about the photograph then. So, by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Cain Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. isn't there something funny about this picture? I mean, I'm sure there is, but I don't know what yet. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? Well, who moved the statue if you've just walked in? Where's the statue go, babe? The funny part is right here. Why this is a blood stain. Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach coloured at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? The statue? The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realised that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection!
But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honour, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? That is the real question. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue the night of the crime? Well, only Luke at me was there, right? So it's got to have been him. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke at me. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? Is everybody just calling them strange delusions now? Is this what we have to live with? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be masked to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw. Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? I don't know, maybe the timestamp. Naturally. The lie in this photo is the timestamp. Is it because it shouldn't have been there? Because it wasn't delivered until after? What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atmey went to KB Security and murdered Cain Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordley Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honour, when was this statue placed besides the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atmey had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah, so on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmey must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmey had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo. Order, Mr. Atmey, is this true? One moment, Your Honour. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordley Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order, Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defence has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all but travellers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is there is only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honour. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes. Please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. Okay, so we're getting another testimony. Cool. Okay, I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box and it was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October the 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? This is very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Okay. Okay. Right, what do we have? We have the poster. We have the statue. To the security at Lordly Taylor. I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasure of Crane exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? How did you know it was speckled? Speckle. Okay. It was in a box, so you couldn't have known it was speckled at the time. Okay, so let's... It was placed in a box, but you knew it was speckled. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. She wouldn't let anyone into the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Then how did you know it was speckled, my dude? Mr. Atme, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Wright. On the day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error. Or should I say, error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Okay. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honour. You say that Luke Atmey was the one who killed Cain Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you my merry murderous motive manifest? Ooh. Nick, he's getting his second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Rhonda Light, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Rhonda Light. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honoured to, Sir Oldtimer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Okay, so we're getting another one. Okay, I, Luke Atmey, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harboured a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Cain Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Okay. So the victim, Cain Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Why am I always the last to know? Okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Okay. What do we have? What do we have? I, Luke Atmey, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. Okay. So... Let's have a look at the blackmail letter. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 AM on October 12th and bring $50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Okay. So what else do we have? Regarding the photo. That's a blue gem. Okay, so... Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Amenon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is the jewel's colour. Colour? I'm not much for discussing colour myself. According to the clipping, the colour of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red. Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Emanon that Master Mask stole at all.
Objection!
And your point is, Mr. Wright? So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That's what you're trying to say, right, Wright? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Cain Bullard was actually blackmailing. Luke. He's the one been pulling all the masterminds. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? The red diamond you're wearing on your hand, maybe? You've been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. And... That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Cain Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Order in the court. Order, I say. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Wright. I don't like the way he said that. Cain Bullard blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Cain Bullard threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep secret. So just what was that identity? He's the mastermind. Atme killed Cain Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to. The identity that Luke Atme wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as a blackmailer? Luke Atme was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey, now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Cain Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd, it's the only thing that makes any sense. Cain Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Rhonda Light was actually Master Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Shh, silence. Now I see. It's all becoming clear. Or what is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? A how did you... You say that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Rhonda Light, in which case I would naturally know about all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Rhonda Light started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed his first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmey know that Rhonda Light was Master Mask? Well, we've got that newspaper clipping that shows them together. This is the one, isn't it? Yep. This, maybe? I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the centre of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Rhonda Light in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atmey. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Rhonda Light. Okay. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. What, you? How dare you even imply that one so smart as me? Okay, ranting. All the ranting. So much ranting. Just jealous. Something to do. Uh-huh. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atmey. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atmey.
Objection!
Oh dear. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I've already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Wright. What do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmey was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor the night of the murder. That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull. But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atmey was at Mr. Bullard's office that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough. Mr. Wright, I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Atme was at KB Security, and the defense can't prove it. I've got nothing. I've got nothing that says he was actually there. Paint stains, sacred urn, testimony. Oh, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony...
Objection!
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he's the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence, and by then, it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy. Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, a defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Masked Mask. Which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer. Ugh. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no more further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Objection!
Oh, I think I see it. Your Honour, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia. This is the true power of the crane channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony is not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honour, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness here has made today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honour, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Love wins out in the end after all. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will declare with full force. Okay. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defence, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Godder? Ah, nothing. Oh, sir lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, Luca, let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Goddo, what are you? Very well then, Mr. Lucatme. I'm going to allow the defence to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defence would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Okay. Yes, Chief. Okay, let's get ready. The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his master mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. Then why did he leave prints on the safe? That makes no sense. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the colour of the jewel. Zvari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course... But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour. We cannot postpone Lucatme's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Okay, so I've got a one shot. Hang on a sec, just one chance. It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix? There isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix. Pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Okay, so we don't have to see all we got to do is press cup number 17, the last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. I'm going to save this just in case I press the wrong thing. 1 second. I'm just going to save just in case. Don't trust myself not to get this wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go for the... He did leave prints, I'm sure he did. Didn't he leave prints on the sea? Do I have anything? Okay. So I'm going to press this one. Mr. Atme, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More likely your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Oh no, he was wearing it. Oh, did I mess this up? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Yes, that's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There is no way that you could have known about that, or should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well...
Objection!
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
Objection!
No, and it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one. One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme.
Objection!
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Detective Atme, you saw Mask to Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Cain Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. What is happening? Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. What an awfully complicated incident. Cain Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me? I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me. Oh, I didn't realise you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. But I really am Master Mask. Huh? So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy? And now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then Master Mask is really innocent. It would seem so. For now. For now. Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. Okay. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Channeling School? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia. Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all of this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya? You've been cleared of merge charges and got off as Master Mask to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask. I did it all for one reason. For her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but Once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Master Mask. Yes, but it's all over now. A broken ball can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I kind of wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a ball is broken, there is always a way to put it back together.
Take that!
The Sacred Urn. Daisy was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. Never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. Oh, hey, sorry, I missed all those chats. Sorry. Oh, enjoy your stream. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes. I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you? With another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya. Okay. Pearls needs to calm down. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Well, there you go. Okay, so let's start the next. What time am I on? While I'm thinking about it. Ooh, okay. Achievement. A brand new episode. Okay. Recipe for Turnabout. Okie dokie. Well, let's start that then. Let's save. Okay. Let's do the first hour of this. Oh, that's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of facts. It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me. Wasn't who? The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at the table when he drank from that poison cup of coffee. No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw. Who is that? Who is he? What happened? I saw someone else there. A man. He's the real killer. That looks suspiciously like me. Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you, Mr. Wright? This court finds the defendant guilty. Okay, this court is adjourned. Okay. The start of a new year always makes me feel like I can take on the whole world. I bet it does, Maya. So I've decided that our resolution should be take on the world. What do you think? Sure, whatever, Maya, but I think maybe you've had more than enough mistletoe cake. Never. You've got to eat a lot of cake during New Year's. It's practically a tradition. Like watching the fireworks on TV or playing a board game. Hey, pal. Hey, Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe. Happy New Year, Detective. Likewise. Now, listen up, right? Here's to another fruitful year of lawyer-police cooperation. Yeah, me too. Alright, pal. You've got some explaining to do. Have you got a holiday present for me, Detective? A what? Well, here. Have this. It's really nothing much, but... Yay, thanks. Look, pal, we need to have a talk. Take a seat. Hey, what about Pearlie? You haven't forgotten her present, have you? No. Yes. No. Are you doing this on purpose? Huh. Guess I'm busted. How did you like my first practical joke of the year? Very funny, pal. Now let's see how funny you think it is. Do you think it is when I show you this? Or what is it? A magazine? Hey, I want to see. Deadly poisoning brings guilty verdict. Defense attorney Wright trounced. Trounced? Let me see that. The defense attorney gave an almost childishly amateur performance yesterday. What the heck is this? It's a report, pal. About you. Listen to this. Mr. Wright must take full responsibility for ruling in this case. Well, don't tell me you don't remember anything about it. But I don't remember anything about it. When was that issue from anyway? December of last year, which I guess makes it last month. Or which makes it old news, you mean? But I wasn't involved in a poisoning case in December. So what do you think this is all about, Nick? If it wasn't you, pal, then that leaves only one possibility. No way. You don't mean... A phony Nick? This must be Gumshoe's idea of a joke. Guess he's starting off the year with one too. Okay. So, what are you going to do about it, pal? What do you mean, what am I going to do about it? Well, it's your fault that the judge found the defendant guilty in this case. My fault? How do you figure that? Because the Phoenix Wright is super famous now. Well, maybe only sort of. Yeah. See what happens when you hotshots start getting too full of yourselves? But I didn't do anything wrong. At least, not that I can remember. You better make this right, pal. Now. And that means taking the case back to court. Got it? Sounds like we've got our first case of the new year. Let's tackle it with gusto. I don't know. The judge already issued a guilty verdict once in this case. It's not going to be easy to get it overturned. I guess that New Year's resolution is going to have to wait until next year. So you're taking the case, right? Good. I'm going to head over to the courthouse then. After that, I'll go back to the precinct. Drop by if you need something, okay, pal? Okay. I guess people are starting to know the name Phoenix Wright. Interesting. If a client entrusted a case to me based on my reputation, I guess I am kind of responsible. Why would someone want to impersonate me? What sort of a guy would do that? Okay, so let's have a look at this magazine clip. Oh, we can't. Okay. I guess then we go to the detention centre and find out what's actually happening. This is so nerve-wracking, waiting to meet our new client. I wonder just what kind of person you tricked and got found guilty. Keep it down, Maya. That kind of talk could ruin me. Ah. How could you, Mr. Wright? How could you do this to me? They put me in solitary. I haven't been able to stop crying. Aren't you? Yes, I am. I'm totally and utterly let down. Ah, are you? Don't pretend you don't know me. It's me, Maggie. Remember? Maggie Bird. Maggie Bird. Okay, Maggie Bird. She's the policewoman I defended that one time. She was accused of murdering her lover. He was a cop too. What are you doing in here? Didn't I get you acquitted? Oh, sure. Very funny. After that fifth-rate defence job, you come in here and start making jokes? You better hurry up and tell her what happened, Nick. Oh, I see. So that's where we stand right now. I'm sorry you've been caught up in another murder. Your whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. I vaguely remember her saying the same thing last time. But I don't mind. What's one more disaster in my life? At least now the real Mr. Wright is here with me. I won't let the world keep me down, sir. Okay. So, let's ask a few questions then, I guess. So, how come you're dressed like that, Maggie? Last year you looked so sharp in that police uniform. I was fired after that incident last year. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I don't mind one bit. I enjoyed being on the force, but I think it was time for me to move on. So, what do you do now? In the second act of The Life of Maggie Bird, I'm playing the role of a waitress. Waitress? Yes, in a French restaurant. It's a small place, but it's quite fashionable. My charming smile and shapely figure came through for me. And the owner, Mr. Armstrong, hired me straight away, sir. And then you got into this mess straight away, right? Yeah, you could put it that way. What happened? This whole mess started on the 3rd of last month. And it happened at Trebian. Trebian? Yes, it's a restaurant where good service and a friendly smile are always included. Oh. There were 2 men at the table, both drinking coffee. And then... one of the men slipped poison into the victim's cup. The victim took just one sip and was gasping for air. I was so shocked I passed out. Hey, hold on there, Maggie. What? You keep calling the guy the victim. Didn't you know the guy who was killed? Not at all. Never even seen the guy before. Oh. So she wouldn't have had a motive to kill him then, I guess. And the other man, the killer, you saw him, right? Of course, a good waitress must be attentive to the clientele. So, you saw the killer, but you were found guilty of the crime anyway? How come? You tell me, Mr. Wright. Well, guess the answer to my question is my phony. Anyway, she saw the killer. Better see if I can get a better description of the guy. Okay. So if you saw the murderer, why were you still convicted? Because no one else saw. Saw what? The other man. The one who put the poison in the victim's coffee. Everyone testified that way. Mr. Armstrong, the customer, everyone. The victim was sitting alone at his table the whole time. But how is that possible? I don't know. Nobody, not one person would believe me, sir. Even Phoenix Wright, my one last hope for a fair trial, failed me. What a pathetic defense. My granny could have done a better job. Look, that wasn't me, okay? And then they found something a bit incriminating in my apron pocket. What? A small bottle of poison. What? Poison? It was in your pocket? Well, I passed out when the victim collapsed. The killer must have slipped the poison into my pocket when I was unconscious. And no one else saw this other guy? No, sir. That's what everyone said, but I don't see how they could have missed him. I was the one who took the coffee to the two men. Oh? What was your impression of them? Well, when I first saw them, I kind of thought they might be in the music industry. In music? How come? Well, one of them had some sort of earpiece and an emo musician's look about him. And there was a sample CD on the table, sir. An earpiece and a sample CD, huh? Did you get a look at the CD at all? It had a band's name written on it. I think it was MC something. They must have been preparing for their debut, I guess. So it was a band CD. Maybe a promo disc? Maybe it was MC Screwdriver. Get serious, Maya. Why would you buy the CD of a group named that? What was the name of that group again? MC Hacksaw? No, MC... And what about the killer? What did he look like? Well, I don't really remember. Only that he was a young man, well built like the victim, really. Okay. So, who have you been talking to? Oh yeah, I need to ask you about this. Hey, this article's about my case. Can you tell me anything about the guy who was pretending to be me? Yes, sir. It was the morning after I'd been arrested. I met you in the visitor's room here. You were wearing one of your super sharp suits. Me? Yes, you, Mr. Wright. Hey, Maggie, was my evil double AM there too? No, I don't remember a phony you, Maya. Oh, it would have been so cool. Then you got really worked up and passionate. I'm going to get you cleared of this crime, he said. Okay, I get the picture, but you've met me in person before. So how come you didn't realise that guy wasn't the real me? I guess, looking back now, it was a little strange. Only a little. Well, okay, so you were a bit taller than normal, and you looked a bit shady, and your voice was a bit weird. Oh, and you had this kind of funny accent, and so the guy was nothing like me then. He had your spiky hair and blue suit. Is that all it takes for someone to imitate me? So, about everyone else in the courtroom, like the judge and the observers, didn't they realise he was an imposter? Everyone had these big question marks on their faces, but it seemed that no one wanted to say anything, sir. This case just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Mr. Wright, do you think it's possible to get a retrial? Probably. The court ruled in the absence of a genuine defence attorney. So we should be able to get a retrial. Mr. Wright? Do you think we'll win next time, sir? My life has been a full-course meal of bad luck, complete with defeat for dessert. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, even landed a phony lawyer when I had the misfortune of being accused of murder. But I will survive, because Maggie Bird always lives to fight another day. And one day I'll find it. Just you wait and see, sir. I'll find that one single moment of good luck. Ugh. Zinni off. He's really going to pay for this. What are you staring at me like that for? But Maya's right. Whoever it is that thought it was a good idea to use my name and get an innocent girl convicted of murder had better watch out. We'll find him. Don't you worry. We'll get Zinni off for you. Oh, thank you. I'll tell you where Trebian is then. Yes, the restaurant where the murder took place? Yes, sir. When you go, please tell Mr. Armstrong I said hi. Sure. All right, Nick, let's go check out this restaurant and its food. Okay. Okay, so let's go find out what's been going on at this restaurant. Très bien. It's very pink. Wow. Look at this place. Look, more like smell. What is with the suffocating scent of flowers in here? And again, girls like that kind of thing, right? Actually, I'm not all that into it. No one's coming to seat us. Maybe there's no one here. Don't be silly, Maya. This is a restaurant, and it's open for business. Hello, anyone here? I don't believe it. There really isn't anyone here. Perfect. Let's get intrusive. If there's no one here, we can take anything we want. Yeah, suppose we can. Okay, so let's examine then. It's a rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French. Why don't you try wearing something a bit more chic sometime? Huh, Maya? Yeah, I guess I could. I'm always in my acolyte clothes, aren't I? It'd be fun to wear normal clothes every now and then. There's something stuffed in behind the rack. Looks like a sports paper to me. Hey, and look at this. Someone scribbled a little doodle on one of the pages. MC Bomber. MC Bomber, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. $100,000, maybe. I wonder what MC Bomber is supposed to be. This paper is from December 3rd. This paper's from the day of the poisoning. What? Okay, we've got a newspaper then. Paper from the day of the murder. This has got to be a clue. I should see if I can find out some more about this paper. Okay. So maybe we should go and ask Maggie about the paper? Is that what she saw on the table? Let's go and ask Maggie. Maggie, paper. Oh, a sports paper. Let's see. Did Guston Braun manage to defend his heavyweight title? Sorry, Maggie. That paper is actually a month old. It's from the day of the murder. And Guston got knocked out yesterday, I'm afraid. Oh no. found this paper in the magazine rack at Tribune. Really? That's strange. Tribune doesn't get newspapers. Mr. Armstrong says he's not really fond of them. Then maybe one of the customers left it behind. Anyway, what I want you to take a look at is this scribble here. Aha, that's it, sir. MC Bomber. That was the name that was written on the CD. Just as I thought. I guess it wasn't MC Screwdriver after all, huh? So that $100,000 must be a down payment for a record deal, right? If someone gave me $100,000, I'd sing for sure. The Master of Crane, or the Spirit Song, or even Maya's theme. Okay, Maya. So if the sample CD was on the victim's table, that means this newspaper may have belonged to the victim? You're right. So the victim left this behind on the day of the murder, huh? I think we better step up the investigation, don't you, Nick? Okay. So is that giving me anything? No, that doesn't give me anything else. So let's go back to Tribune then. Let's go and have another look. Ooh la la, bonjour. Welcome to La Tribune. Oh, hello. What happened to Maya? She's frozen stiff. Oh, that's what happened to Maya. Bienvenue. Bienvenue. How do you say that? Bienvenue? Welcome to my petite restaurant. Huh? Bienvenue. Oh non, my petite Julie. Huh? Me? Look at this face. Like a kitten rejected by its own mother. You are fatigued, no? Alors, you need this. An aromatic bath oil. Melange of La Noailles and La Rose. My personal recommendation. You think I need what? Oui, oui. Just add a couple of drops of this mixture to la bathwater and voila! It will soothe your body and your mind. Simply fantastic. Really? And for le monsoon? Who? Me. Look at that face, like la puppy rejected by life itself. You are fatigued, no? For you, monsieur, I recommend this. Oil of bergamot. And maybe a hint of oui oui. I will add la peppermint and la clary sage for a fragrance exceptional. Such an invigorating recipe will bring out your delicious beauty, monsieur. My beauty? Alors, if you will be seated, I will bring you the special menu of the day. Actually, we're not here to eat. We're lawyers. Ah, bien sûr. I know this already, monsieur. You are la Phoenix Wright, no? Yes. You know me. Oui, oui. I never forget a man who flirts with me, especially in court. I guess he was cross-examined by our mysterious Zinniop. It looks like everyone to do with this case knows who I am already. I wonder what sort of impression Zinniop has been leaving on people, don't you? Allow me to introduce myself to you. I am Jean Armstrong. Enchanté. Jean, okay. Ask about what happened. So what does Tribune mean? I know tre, that means 3, right? No. Tribune is français. In English, you would say very good. Oh, very good. Oui, exactement. La atmosphere is très bien, and la cuisine is très bien. If the food's so good, why aren't there any customers in here? My cuisine is not for all. Some people, they do not appreciate la haute cuisine. I thought everyone liked hot cuisine. Since I have lost Maggie, I do not have enough ants. So you're running this place on your own now? Oui, for a moment. No one has answered my advertisement. Ah, poor moi. Please don't eyeball me when you say that. I am la chef, I am la manager. I'm also a trained aromatherapist. A roaming what? A practitioner of aromatherapy. The art of soothing the soul with the delicate floral aromas. delicate. The smell coming from that bottle earlier was anything but. So, could you tell me what you know about the incident? Yeah, it makes me sad to remember it, yet I remember it so well. More than a month has passed since it happened. Yeah, I guess it has been about a month since Maggie's sentencing. So, it was the 3rd of last month, just after 1 in the afternoon. A man who was in here for coffee suddenly became ill because of the poison in his coffee. That is the truth as I know it. It was Maggie who took his drink to him. I was in the kitchen, and I heard the sound of someone collapsing. When I came out to see what it was, he was already slumped in his chair. He was dead. Mon Dieu, oui, he was dead. Maggie had passed out also. And this man who died, was he alone? Oui, monsieur. All alone. I know that Maggie said there was someone else, but... I see. The police, they asked me many times. Are you sure there was no one else at the table? They asked. But I am not the only one. The old man said the same thing. Old man? What old man? So who is this old man that you mentioned? At the time of the murder, there was another customer in here. What? Someone else saw it? Someone else saw it? Oui. As usual, he came alone that day. At the time of the murder, he was here. He saw it too. But he said the same thing, that there was no one else at the victim's table. Maggie swears there were 2 people. Mais, mademoiselle, the lawyer, he could not prove this, no. About the lawyer, that was me, I suppose. Eh bien sûr. He's the first person who said it wasn't me. Don't kid yourself, Nick. Now, who's the one making stuff up? Okay. So... should we ask about Maggie? Maggie was a policewoman once, n'est-ce pas? Yes, but she had to quit for reasons beyond her control. Oui, oui. She was la suspect in the murder investigation, no? Oh, you know about that. That is why I gave la perfume for la happiness. Happiness perfume? Oui. Blended from bergamot, like I have given to you before. But she's been arrested again, and found guilty this time. This is true. A natural aroma of unhappiness must have been very strong. Just admit it. Your perfume doesn't work. I'm not surprised she was la prime suspect, after something like that took place before my very eyes. Something like what? What's this guy talking about? Does this mean Maggie did have a motive? We've got to ask this guy for more info. Stat. Okay. What's Maggie's motive? When Maggie took the coffee over to the victim, did anything happen? Oh, oui. I suppose you could say so. So what happened? No, it was nothing. Look, Maggie says she didn't even know the guy, but she's still being indicted for murder. The prosecution must have come up with some kind of motive. Oui, it is true. If there was anything at all between Maggie and the victim, it could be relevant. So please, tell us anything you know. Oh no. Cyclops. No way. What are we going to do, Nick? We'll just have to remove... What the... What's wrong? The Magatama. It's gone. Huh? I had it in my pocket, but it's vanished into thin air. What? But I could see the Cyclops. Maybe that means the Magatama's nearby. Mr. Armstrong? Could I just confirm something with you again? The table where the victim was sitting, was anyone else sitting there? That is a question you will have to ask him yourself. Him? The old man spends all of his time down the park. The park? Oh, a park. What park's that? Behind the restaurant. It's called Vitamin Square. Thank you. Je vous en prie, my dear. Well, let's go check out this Vitamin Square right now, Nick. Okay. So, where is my guitar now? What happened? Where did it go? I want it back. Let's go to Vitamin Square then, I guess. Okay. What are we doing? So, this Vitamin Square? Yeah. I see where they get the name from now. The fruits scream vitamins at you. Hey, Nick. That's the guy, right? Isn't that the old man Mr. Armstrong was talking about? That grouchy-looking grandpa. He's throwing seeds out for the pigeons. Maya, he's not throwing seeds for them. He's throwing seeds at them. Oh dear. Ugh. My grumpiness threat level has just been raised to red. Okay, let's talk to you then, dude. Excuse me? Would you mind if I had a word with you? Yes. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. What's the matter with you? Can't you see I'm busy? So you don't like my seeds, eh, pigeons? He's really chucking those seeds at them. That's gotta hurt. Go on, eat this. Ugh. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's going to speak to me then. Okay. Maybe we take a look around instead. Job listings. What is this? Oh, there's a magazine here. It's a magazine full of job listings. You disgusting rogue, picking up something that someone else threw away. I threw it away. Did you throw this away? Are you looking for a job? That's none of your business. Sorry. I guess I'll just take the magazine with me then. I don't want anyone else having it. Give it back. Too bad. Now that you want it so bad, I don't want to give it up. Hey, that's mine. Okay. So let's go and ask about the job, because isn't he trying to advertise for the job back here? Maybe we present the job listings to him. Mademoiselle. Yes. Are you looking for a job? No. What? No. I was just... Let me see. Your style is, a bit different, but you have a good face. Different? Felicitations. You have passed. I will hire you. Bien, come with me. I will teach you everything I know. Nick, help! I don't know whether to laugh or feel bad for Maya. Maybe I should do both. Okay, so... Uh-huh. It looks like they have Maggie in questioning. I guess I've asked her pretty much everything. I'll come back if there's anything else I need to ask her later. Okay. Let's go to the Criminal Affairs Department then, since it's the only place I haven't been. Ah, gotcha. Well, pal, have you found the evidence yet? The one that's going to find her innocent? No, not yet. We've only just started our investigation. Well, whatever you need to know, I'll give you the dirt on it. I'm putting off all my other cases for now, pal. Gumshoe's really fired up about this. Oh, yeah, one more thing. The retrial's been approved. Court's sitting at 10 AM tomorrow. And Godot's going to be the prosecutor. Oh. Him. Now, listen up, pal. If Maggie's found guilty again... Yes. I'll make sure you get locked up for good. You got it? Okay. So the guilty party was Maggie Bird, huh? Yeah, back when she was on the police force. You were her mentor when she was a rookie, right? Yeah, I kept a close eye on her. I mean, not too close, you know. Hey, what's with the funny looks, pal? I was just her. It wasn't anything like... Look, sure, I was her boss when she was doing her training. That was it. Nothing happened. Gumshoe sure is sweating up a storm over nothing. Ah, so that's it. Big old Gumshoe has a little crush on Maggie. I don't like her or anything. I was, note to self. Gossip with Maya about this later. Look, pal, don't tell anyone, okay? You gotta keep it a secret, got it? Sure. And would you mind not guessing what I'm thinking all the time? Hey, tell your face, pal, not me. You'd have to be blind not to see what's on your mind. Okay. So I was wondering, could you fill me in on the victim? Glenn Elg. He was a computer programmer. I see, a programmer. He was just a regular Joe working for a small-time computer firm. Maggie never had any contact with the guy before that day. And all she did was take him his coffee order on the day of the murder, pal. Yeah, Maggie also claimed to have never seen the guy before. Did the victim go to the restaurant often? Not according to the chef. Said it was the first time he'd seen the guy. A programmer and a first-time customer at that. What possible reason could Maggie have to kill a guy like that? That's what I thought. But a motive was still somehow established in her trial. You're kidding. What was her supposed motive? Sorry, pal. I'm really busy. I haven't even got enough time to sift through these papers. Look into it yourself, okay? What could this motive have been? This isn't really a proper investigation. I'm kind of working on it by myself. Oh, that's right. The judge already ruled on the case and all the evidence is in already. The only problem is with Maggie's testimony. Yeah. Doesn't sound very good for us, huh? Look, pal. I've got a mountain of papers on this case to look over before tomorrow. So I'm just going to say this. Maggie Bird's no liar. She's... Okay, so she's a bit out there and a bit off base sometimes. But she was a good cop. That's not exactly complimentary, you know. It's not really. So, what do you think really happened? What do you think really happened, Gumshoe? And just how contradictory is her testimony? The biggest problem with Maggie's testimony is the number of people at the table. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Maggie still insists that there was another guy sitting with the victim. Right, but get this. Everyone else in the place says the guy was all alone. Even the chef. And then there's that CD. CD. Oh yeah, she did mention something about a CD. There was a sample CD on the table, sir. But our guys turned that place upside down. There was no CD. What? Not on the table, not anywhere in the whole restaurant, pal. But didn't Maggie say the victim was wearing an earpiece too? Yeah, but that was for the portable radio in the front pocket of his hoodie. A radio? He didn't have a CD player. You got it. Your phony never explained that contradiction at all. Come to think of it, the owner of Trebian didn't mention that CD either. I don't know why, but I get the feeling Mr. Armstrong's got something to hide. Of course he has. Okay, so, oops. We've done this. Okay. So, let's ask about the newspaper. What's that? A sports paper? Yeah, I found it in the magazine rack at Trebian. It's dated the same day as the murder. You may be onto something here. And take a look at this. See this writing here? MC Bomber. Hey, what is it? I've heard that name somewhere before. Yeah, MC Bomber. Well, he actually seems to be thinking for once. It's no good. I can't remember. And he goes back to being the gumshoe we all know and love. Hey, pal. I'm going to borrow this paper for a bit, okay? I want to get a handwriting analysis done on this scribble. Handwriting, huh? Pretty good to know about that in any case. Thanks, pal. I bet this will turn out to be an interesting clue. Okay, so he's got the sports paper now. How about we ask more about what he might have to find? The chef of Trebian, huh? You know what that chef said to me? Your body is full of blood toxins. And then he gave me this bottle. What's in it? I don't know. The label says juniper. I'm under orders to put a few drops in it in my bath every day. Under orders? Yeah, you know, there's something about that lady. I mean, guy. Huh? You can't stop thinking about him. Not like that, pal. Give me a break. He's not my type. I mean, I can't stop thinking that he's involved with this case somehow. Sounds like he knows a little something more about our charming chef. Okay, does that give me some more points to talk about? So what exactly is it that caught your attention about the chef at Trebian? It's, kind of hard to say. The guy's probably not even connected with the case anyway. Hey, come on, detective. Didn't you say you'd give me the dirt on anything? Well, this sort of stuff is kind of unimportant, gossipy stuff, you know, pal. Look, how about this? You go to Trebian and investigate the place yourself. And if you find out anything suspicious about the guy, you report back to me, okay? Don't suppose I get a choice in this, huh? Guess I better find out more about the chef and Trebian and then report back to Gumshoe. Okay, so let's go to Trebian then. Which way have I got to go? Oh my, looks like Mr. Armstrong's really taken a shine to her. I suppose I'll just have to let her work at the restaurant for a while. I'll go pick her up from Trebian once things have cooled off. Okay, how do I get there? Okay, from there. Okay. January 6th. The scent of flower sure is strong. It's almost making me dizzy. Who are you? Oh, hello. Wednesday Addams. Who was that just now? A customer. She had sort of a dark aura about her. Ah, welcome. B Avenue. Wow, what a cute voice. Oh, it's just you, Nick. Maya. Well, how do I look? Maybe you should quit being a spirit medium. Maybe, but it's kind of boring being a waitress. I mean, you're my first ever customer. Then who was that woman I just saw? Oh, since you're here, you might as well have something to eat. I am kind of hungry, actually. Okay, so... what have you got to say, Maya? What's going on? So, how do you like your new job, Maya? I never knew there was so much for a waitress to do. Take people's orders, bring them their food, make coffee, work the cash register. Of course, we need a customer before I can do any of that. It's a nice looking restaurant. It's a shame more people don't come. Don't forget about the ultra cute waitress. Check out my gimme a tip smile. Okay. Hey Nick, why don't you order something? The chef's preparing a tasty lunch at set at the moment, or so he says. How much is it? It's the twin tea set, so it's $20, of course. The twin tea set? I believe I'll be taking a pass on that. It's kind of expensive. What? But you can't. Come on, Nick. It's not every day I get to be a waitress. I want to try carrying plates and working the cash register. How about cleaning the toilets? That should keep you busy. Yeah, right. Maybe later. About the lunch? Oh, a fine choice, sir. No, oh dear. Kitchen, a lunch special, please. With all the extras, drink, side salad, dessert, and gift. I don't need any of that. Just a moment, please, sir. Maya's really getting into this. So how much is this set lunch then? $20, huh? But with the drink, side salad, and dessert, it's $45. Hey, wait a sec, Maya. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Here you are, our deluxe fortified lunch set. Whoa. A dish inspired by lobster and abalone fricassee with a balsamic vinaigrette. Bon appetit. Thanks. Come on, Nick. Hurry up and try it already. Lobster, huh? Alright, down the hatch it goes. Well, are you hungry, Maya? Starving. Here, it's yours. Really? Remember, Maya, my wallet doesn't print money, so you better polish off that plate. I just remembered. I've got to go clean the toilets. Hey! You can't be in that much of a hurry to clean the toilets. Okay. Unbelievably bad. Excellent. How does that guy manage to make good food taste so bad? Hey, Nick. You want to take a peek at the kitchen? The kitchen? Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Now, what was it that Maggie said again? In the kitchen, you'll get to see all of the chef's greatest secrets. In the kitchen? That sounds tasty. Hey, wait up. Maya. What is it? I'm pretty busy right now. Weren't you going to show me around? There goes my plan to find some cool clue and show it off in your face. I'd better conduct the search in the kitchen myself. Okay, so can I move to the kitchen now? Okay, we'll go to the kitchen and then we'll save it after the kitchen and I will call it a night, I think, because it's getting pretty late. We've been on for nearly 2 hours, so... Okay, Trebian kitchen. And here it is, the famous Trebian kitchen. It's my first time in here too, actually. There's a weird atmosphere in here, that's for sure. Mr. Armstrong will be back soon, so we better search quickly. Chop chop. Okay. Well, there's my magatama. Now I know I'm in a French restaurant. I never heard of most of these seasonings. Hey Nick, this container has oyster sauce. What's that? Isn't that used in Chinese food? Ah, look, right there on the counter. My magatama. What's it doing there? What indeed? Okay, recovered my magatama. That's good. What else do we have? We've got his aromatherapy bottles, bits and pieces, all sorts of stuff. Ow. Let's look at his aromatherapy bottles. Looks like a treasure chest or something. Look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many they're overflowing onto the floor. Same. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 98, 99, 100. They're all the same too. Hey, wait a minute. What is it? There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't smell. So what's that liquid inside then, I wonder? Hey Nick, we should borrow this. I mean, look how many bottles he's got. He won't miss one, will he? Okay. So, I think we've got everything we need from in here. I am gonna save it there. I'm gonna leave it there for tonight. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the follows. Let me just go and see if there's anyone to raid super quick before we log off. And then I'm gonna go and put my feet up for a bit. I've had a bad day. It's been a bad day today, you guys. Bad day, and I just want to go and rest. Okay. Let's see who's around. Let's go raid. Okay, so there's nobody on at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. I will hopefully catch you tomorrow. I'm going to try and have an early stream tomorrow because we're going out tomorrow. So my timings are going to be a bit skewed, I think. But hopefully I will catch you then, and I will, yeah. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. Bye.